Hello everybody, my name is DJ Rog, and 2v8 is finally back! Oh yeah! And this time we have the Ghostface and the Oni. So, I wasn't really making content back when, the older 2v8s came out. So, I decided, why not make a video covering every killer, their strengths, and their best combos. So that's exactly why we're here. I'm gonna have a tier list of each killer in 2v8, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about my favorite team-ups and combos that you can get with two killers and the classes. Oh, and pardon the mic quality in this first section here. It's the same one that I used for my casting of Frank Stone video, which you should go check out right now. And remember to like and subscribe. Look, I have to do it. I'm a YouTuber. It's part of my job. The first section of this video, I'm going to be doing a little bit about how good each individual killer is in 2v8. I'll be going over team combos a little bit later, because I don't want to go over all, 50-something. But right here, I've just got the core killers. The tiers are easy 8k. These are for the killers that, well, you can figure it out. It's really easy to kill all the survivors, good pressure, helps out on the team, gives some good support, but is also able to down survivors quickly. Then we have very good. This is, the killer that gets you the win. Decent means that, maybe half and half. They're okay. They're probably equivalent to their normal match self. Team player, this is reserved for the killers who don't really do a whole lot, but they do boost their team in some way. And then finally we have easy escape, which are the killers that you should not bother even trying to play. So we start with Trapper. This is rather obvious, isn't it? Team player. Okay, so I think this is actually a bit of an upgrade, because in normal matches, the Trapper does absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. However, here, at least, his teammate, if they're a faster killer like Wesker, can go over to his traps and really profit off that. I do also believe he gets more traps in 2v8 mode, which also gives him a lot more utility. Next we have the Wraith. Now, the Wraith, pretty good, right? But they don't really help their team. They don't give any support that could really change the match. Just kind of a normal killer. So I'm gonna have to go with decent. Still quite strong, can get good downs, but he doesn't really provide anything special to his team. Hillbilly, he is fast. That's about it. He can combo pretty well with killers like Trapper or Ghostface who need time, and he can provide excellent pressure, and he can get around the map, zip back and forth, and with more survivors, it's very easy to hit his chainsaw. So I'm gonna have to put him in very good here. I think he's stronger than he is in normal matches, like a good bit. The Nurse, kind of the same as Hillbilly, where it's better since there are more survivors around, easier to hit. Now, Nurse is technically the best killer in the game, so she should be up here. However, that's just in theory, and in practice, because the player base isn't really the best, I'm gonna have to put her in very good, above Hillbilly of course, because she's Nurse, but she's still not quite in the easy 8k category. Next we have Huntress. She's decent. There's not a whole lot to say about her. I mean, any ranged killer, or killers that can get around the map, like Hillbilly, are quite useful in this mode, and of course, just like Nurse and Hillbilly, it's easier to hit shots, but, it's not a big difference, just kind of normal killer. Next we have Spirit. Spirit, I think, deserves to go in very good, because, I mean, she can, really easily get sneak attacks and stuff with her teammates, distracting the survivors. So I think she's in very good, because she can really profit off of that. She can, get easy, fast takedowns, jump scare right out of her phase walk, because all the survivors are always distracted by other killers. Unless it's Trapper. If it's Trapper, then you're just normal Spirit. Deathslinger? So, Deathslinger I wouldn't say is as good as Huntress on this mode. I also wouldn't say he really provides anything to the team. And there's nobody in easy escape, so... there we go. Blight. Basically, the same as Hillbilly. I'd say not quite as good. Where, the chainsaw sweep is like really, really good with a bunch of survivors. Blight can still only hit, one, and it's more about the movement and less about the attack. So I'm gonna put him in decent, but I'm gonna put him above Huntress and Wraith. Next we get to the killers that I had to add to this list, and I don't have Legion. Okay, whatever. Nemesis. Nemesis cannot hold his own against 8 survivors. He really can't, because his tentacle whip, it's strong against 4, where that's all you have to manage, and you can get people infected pretty fast. But where there's 8, he can't really infect everybody, so it won't be having that big of an effect. There's just a lot better killers. However, his infection is quite useful, and his tentacles aren't the worst. So I don't think he goes in decent, because he's really not that big a help. However, I do think he goes in team player, because he boosts his team a lot. Wesker, easy 8k. Like, he's the only killer, well, one of the only killers I've been playing this 2v8. Because, oh my goodness, is he strong. I mean, he gets 3 bounds? 3. He's stronger than his normal self, right? And his normal self would already be in very good. And he also pairs with the other extremely good killer, which I will reach in a second. So I think he's absolutely perfect, and there is a reason he is meta right now. He's just amazing. Next up we've got Oni. Decent. He doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, there are more injured survivors, so he can charge up his Fury a lot faster, which I do think drags him up to very good, because he'd normally be decent. Well, maybe he'd even reach very good in normal matches. So I think he does do a bit better than Spirit. I do think Hillbilly's really easy targets managed to outplay him a little. Next we have Ghostface. Guess where Ghostface goes? I'll give you a hint, it's not here, or here, or here. It's all the way up here. Now, hear me out, okay? A lot of the killers that are pretty high on this list, notice, Spirit, Oni, Hillbilly, Nurse, Blight. The slow killers are all down here, the fast ones are up here. Fast equals distraction. Distraction equals time. Time equals stock, and stock equals really, really fast downs. With a second killer, it's much easier to be stealthy, and using builds like putting Shadow on him and whatever it's called, Enforcer on Wesker, you can get really, really good combos. So just because the rest of the meta up here is so fast, I think Ghostface gets a massive boost. Of course, there's also a bunch of survivors, so there's always a target to stalk, even if the map is a bit... Okay, have you pieced it together yet? No? The last killer is Legion. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Legion is so ridiculously overpowered in this mode. So, of course, you're not getting the insta-downs as fast because you have to hit more survivors. However, being able to injure 8 survivors in one frenzy and having the renewing much faster because everyone's close, oh my goodness, does it make a massive difference. The other day, I was playing Wesker, right? And then I was teamed up with the Legion. Legion injured every survivor, and then because I was playing Wesker, I could run across the map, grab someone, smash them against a wall, and then instantly cage them, turn around and there would be another injured survivor right there, comboing him with any fast killer, such as almost every killer, other than Ghostface, at the top here. It's so overpowered! You can get these hooks ridiculously fast, and I find that in 2v8, the gens at the very start, 2 or 3 tend to pop really quickly before you start to get some pressure on the survivors. With Legion, this isn't a problem, because Legion is able to immediately put tons of pressure on survivors. Of course, Legion is my main, so I'm a little bit biased, but I still believe that Legion is the absolute best 2v8 killer. Not the best on their own, but a crazy team player. And no, they don't go in the team player category, because they're so strong that they just go all the way up here. Man, talk about a support killer. It's crazy. It's free 8Ks, free 8Ks. Do you know what time it is? I know what time it is. Combo time, oh yeah! So the first combo I like to call the meta team. This one is the meta team. Wesker and Ghostface. So Wesker, pretty obvious. He's really fast, he has extra bounds, pretty strong. Actually really strong. He's the second best killer in this mode. We pair that up with Enforcer to give him a little bit more speed chasing those broken survivors, which can help you catch up to them so that you're a bit closer for your bound. Then we have Ghostface. Ghostface, his only problem is that he takes too long to stalk. Sure, he has plenty of targets, and once you do stalk someone, it's absolutely worth it, but he needs a killer who can stall for time, like Trapper, for example, or Wesker. Now, Wesker will be going around the map providing excellent pressure, hitting everybody with bounds, slamming them against walls, and Ghostface will be hiding in the corner, stalking the entire match. They can get so many people fully stalked if they just have a little bit of stalling. And for his class, we choose Shadow. I believe it's called Shadow. With the Shadow, there are a certain set of requirements that you can meet to give your teammate some undetectable. Wesker with undetectable in this mode is absolutely terrifying, because you have no idea where he's coming from, and with his bounds, he can go from one side to the other side of the map near instantly, and you'll never hear him coming. So, yeah, it's the meta. Shadow not only helps Wesker with getting undetectable, but it's also very well suited to Ghostface as well. Next up, we don't really have a specific combo, but more of a team composition tip. Legion or Ghostface with any fast character. Now, I did mention Ghostface and Wesker because that is the absolute best meta that you can get right now. Other than Legion and Wesker, but Legion and Wesker isn't seen as often. Anywho, with Legion, you can, run across the map, like I said in the tier list, stab everyone, and then you can have the faster characters profit from that, and they can just go around, and they can get everybody into the dying state and get so many hooks so fast. As well as Ghostface, who, like in my last team up, he benefits a lot from somebody who can place pressure and give him some time. I would recommend Hillbilly, Blight, or Wesker. All of these characters absolutely amazing. Maybe not Nurse, because, it's a big map, it's hard to aim your blinks, but if you're playing in duo and you're good at Nurse, I'd recommend using her with one of these team compositions. Anyway, just always remember, if you have the choice, always pair your fast killers with Ghostface or Legion. Ghostface for their profit, and Legion for the fast character's profit. Next up is the Hatchet Trap build. You're going to take a Huntress, and you're going to take a Trapper. Trapper's going to set their traps up all over loops on the map, and if a survivor dares step in it, then the Huntress can just throw a hatchet and bam, they're down. And because there are so many survivors everywhere in 2v8, you can just leave them, and you can turn around and you can hit somebody else. It's great. Being able to profit off of those traps from a distance, it's strong. Of course, the speedy characters could also do this. However, I'd say the speedy characters are a lot better paired up with our boys, Legion or Ghostface. For this build, I recommend putting Fearmonger on Huntress, so that when you hit those hatchet throws, it'll give Trapper a bit of speed. And for Trapper himself, I would give Enforcer, which is best on M1 killers on this mode, just to give them a little help chasing injured survivors. This build mostly works because survivors won't be looking where they're running when they're trying to avoid Huntress shots. You know, speaking of Trapper, how about Trapper and Hillbilly / Nurse? So, yeah, this one's pretty obvious. Survivor gets trapped, Hillbilly or Nurse runs right over to them because they can do that because chain sprint and blinks, and then they hit them. It's that simple. It's the easiest way to get trap kills and ensure that they don't have time to get out, because Nurse and Hillbilly have the best movement in this mode. So for Hillbilly / Nurse, I would probably run Shadow, because that way, I mean, who doesn't love a silent Hillbilly? And also giving Trapper some undetectable would be a big help to him, especially because he's an M1 killer. And because he's an M1 killer, he's once again getting Enforcer. Really, there's no other class you should be playing on killers like this. Him and Wraith, well, Wraith could maybe be Shadow, but I'd go with Enforcer because getting that speed boost on an M1 is just so much better. Wraith! Wait a minute, I know him. He's in the best meme build. That's right, we even have meme builds for 2v8. Spirit and Wraith. This combo doesn't really have anything going on in particular. It's two killers that can get around the map pretty fast, and they're both pretty good, but it's mostly just because both of them are constantly jump scaring. Now, you run Shadow on both of them. You could run Fearmonger so they get that speed boost when they're unseen, but I prefer Shadow, because they are both getting a little bit of undetectable and giving each other undetectable occasionally. So, it's just a whole lot of undetectable going on a whole lot of jump scaring killers. There's no reason you should run this other than scaring survivors. Okay, meme build out of the way, we can finally get on to our last serious build. This is the ultimate stall build. Wraith and Legion. So, Legion's going around, getting everybody injured, and tracking every survivor down. Wraith, meanwhile, is getting around the map very quickly, kicking gens, and popping on those injured survivors. With the mending that they have to do, and the healing, and all the generators they have to get back after being damaged, it's a lot of stalling going on. It also just pairs up some pretty good killers. Wraith being quite effective in this mode because you can't spare time to look for him, and Legion because, well, Legion. Anywho, this might be the best build. It's not the funniest though. I would go with Brute for the Wraith in this build, because when you're cloaked, you can still break pallets, and combining that with Brute, you can break pallets really fast without getting detected, and give the Legion haste, which they do not need, but they will take. And then I would go with Enforcer on Legion. Is it obvious that Enforcer is my favorite class? Maybe, but it deserves it. It deserves the glazing. Okay, that's it. The video's over. You can go now. Make sure to like and subscribe first, though. Yeah. I think I'm going to do a few more weeks of my weekly uploads, but then I'm probably going to take a break for a while. I know you're waiting on First Try Fraud Eye and the casting of Frank Stone, but I need to focus on saving up for a computer so you guys can watch me stream starting this summer. Adios.